Hello guys, good evening. Welcome to this GitLab Pipeline series. In this edition, we will be talking about schedule pipelines in GitLab. So what is it? As you can see here, really is just a way to use Cron class or Cron Syntax, which is a concept that actually came from Linux, to actually schedule a job to run manually on a GitLab, or probably like a schedule jobs to run in GitLab at the like a set time that you program. And so let's begin. So if you go in here, as you can see, it's GitLab pipeline schedule using cron jobs. So let's dive in and see. In fact, before we go on to the GitLab, I'll just walk you through quickly what these things actually mean. So here in GitLab, really, we have this schedule pipeline that allow automation to automate running pipeline at specified interval, similar to like how cron job actually work in Unix-based systems. This feature incredibly useful for useful when you need to like regularly run tests, deploy code, perform like maintenance tasks, or gather reports, or run some like manual intervention jobs, like probably just back up a database at a certain point in time in the day or in the night whilst you're still sleeping. So that's why it is really like a schedule thing, really. So in this tutorial, basically, we just walk you through a step-by-step guide how to actually schedule that job so you can actually see run on a GitLab, and that's the point of this. And then, as we said that earlier, we were going to use cron schedules to do this in GitLab, and that's how it works. So let's look at obviously this cron. What is that really? So this just a cron job is just a time-based job scheduler in Unix-like operating systems. In the context of GitLab, a cron job allows you to actually schedule the execution of the pipeline on a fixed schedule or regular interval, really. And as we say, some of the things it can help you to do is to run tests at night. For instance, if you want, if you have like multiple suite of tests that needs to run, and you can gather reports. Obviously, doing that during the day might not be the best thing to do. It might be like some regression. So in the morning, you can kind of get a report because the test will trigger itself at a certain interval, or probably like deploying code weekly in some certain environment, or like probably like performing database backup and things like that. All right. So in GitLab, GitLab allows you to set up these cron like schedules in GitLab UI, or probably just through the gitlab-ci YAML. The best way that people really do that is to just through the GitLab UI. These schedules are based on Cron Syntax, which specifies the timing of the schedule task. So let's see some of these things that we've been talking about. So here, this, if we just try to understand this Cron Syntax a little bit, before creating the schedule pipeline, it's important to actually understand this. And if we want to understand it, this cron syntax actually just has like 5 stars here. And each of these 5 stars actually just represents something. So the first star, starting from the left to right, the first one here represents minutes, really. So if you do star, you're just saying any. But then if you like specify like number here, any number between 0 and 59, it is going to represent the minutes here. So for instance, if we say 5 here, this is now going to be 5 minutes. That's what it represents. And if you go on here to put anything here, it's going to represent an hour. And if you go on here, the third one will represent the time in month. It starts from 1 to 31st. And then here would be day of the month, I mean to say, and then this is the month, 1 to 12. And then this one is day of the week. And that's what it represents. We will show you typical examples of how to do this really in a minute. But before that, here is obviously what I was just trying to talk about, the breakdown of this. So here is the breakdown, as we were saying. So this is minutes and the hour, the day of the month, which is from 1 to 31st, and the month itself. The months are just January to December, which is 1 to 12. Day of the week. These are just the ingredients or the components you need to schedule the job. An example of that will be, this is just a quick example. An example will be 00***0. So as we said, this is minutes. This will be 0 minute. and then this is the hour. The hour here is 0 to 23. Time is it's actually just an American time, and then it would be 0 here would just be the first hour of the day, early in the morning, and then this is start, which is any, and then this one here is the day of the week. This one is the first day of the week. So this will mean midnight 00 every Sunday. Let's look into details about this really. But before we dive in to look quick or carefully onto those cron tasks, let me show you how you can quickly just configure this through the UI. And how can you do this really is just simply just go to your GitLab, search, or go to build, and then go to pipeline schedules. On the pipeline schedule, select the new schedule and fill in the forms. The form would have these 3 headings here. The first heading is just interval pattern, which is what we are talking about. We'll soon be clicking here to see a detailed example of this cron again, as we were talking about. And then again, the next thing you need to specify is the target or the tag branch that you need to, the target branch or the target tag that you need to actually just this schedule to pick up code from when it's going to run. And then the last one is some jobs, when they want to run, they might require like an extra variable to be injected in. So this way you just like inject those variables and just put it there and save the job and run, and that would actually just run. And then here, let's have a look quickly. If you want to go with option 2 as well, obviously today I wouldn't have enough time to go through to show you how to actually just do it from gitlab-ci.yml file, but it's essentially just simple. So the only thing you need to like pay attention is to actually just use any of the 2 keywords. So you say here you can define the schedule pipeline within this file by using only or except keyword combined with schedule. So once you say only here on any of the job, under the job just say only and then put the word schedules, or you just use the word except here and put the word schedule. This would allow you to actually just do that programmatically. So talking about that now, I will tell you that in this now there are like the testing and monitoring of the scheduled pipeline jobs. Once you have scheduled the pipeline jobs, it is important to monitor and verify the execution of this. The first one is obviously monitoring. Just going to go back to that, click on that scheduled job, and then view what you have configured and see the time that it has been scheduled. GitLab will tell you when it is due to run, so that you will check the cron syntax that you put in. Well, in a minute we'll just see in details this cron again, but just let's just talk through quickly. You would also see the aspect that says the log and output as well. After the pipeline runs, you can view the logs. It will just like keep the logs and output of the scheduled jobs for you, so you can just probably just go back in time and download things and see how the job went and all of that. And again, the last one is that you can still trigger this job yourself. So if you schedule this job before the time comes and you want it quicker, you can actually manually intervene. Click a button, a play button, and then the job will just run for you. The last thing I would say before we just exit here is to say the best practices really for this scheduled pipeline job. The first one is obviously whatever you're doing, just make sure you're in the correct time zone. So if you're like myself, who is in England, you're just going to make sure that you're on a London GMT time zone, but just select your own country time zone here. Also avoid overlapping pipelines, obviously. So if you have a long running job, make sure your cron job schedules are spaced out to avoid triggering overlapping jobs. So probably like one is running and then the schedule job would kick off anyway whenever the time comes for it to do that. So these schedule jobs are usually for weekends or nightly things that you may want to use them for. The other one, obviously, just monitor usage and resource. See if you actually just, and again, the trigger, limit the trigger pipelines to certain things. So you might want to create a specific pipeline or a specific stage for that to go and do that, because you may not want all these job or stages on your pipeline to be running at a certain point in time. So you can just mark it with this so that those doesn't run until they listen to schedule and they just do that. Obviously, again, talk about notification, but that's that. So what I would do is to quickly, obviously, again, the last thing is troubleshooting the common issue that comes with it. First one I found is that pipeline doesn't run at schedule time. If it doesn't, again, just double check your Cron syntax. This Cron syntax is actually one of the major areas that people actually just fall down. Okay, so here is pipeline doesn't run at schedule time. So here, double check your Cron syntax. Make sure the GitLab runner is available as well. Also ensure the schedule pipeline is also enabled. These three things are usually key. So, and then the most difficult one, which we're going to look at in a minute, is this cron expression. So if the expression that you put in, it's not actually working as expected, so you might put in some configuration that will just go and think of or look at a different time. It wouldn't kick off when you want it to. So if you schedule like 1 o'clock every night and then you think you've done 2 or 12, it wouldn't kick off at the time you expected it to do. So just make sure you're this. And talking about this now, there are so many utilities websites you can actually just go and copy those Cron syntax and just put it in. I'll just be showing you that in a minute. And then the last one, again, just pipeline runs this in the wrong time zone as well as we mentioned. Make sure this is correct. Okay, so now that we're through with this, let's go back to the cron syntax really, so we can look at it in detail. So let's go here. I'm just going to go and open up this GitLab page here so you can kind of see what cron syntax in detail is about. So the cron syntax, as we said, is used to schedule job when it runs, and then you may need to use this cron syntax thing here. So if you see here, this is like on a GitLab pipeline page, GitLab page actually. On their document, they have very good documentations on this. Again, as we saw, this is a representation of all of these things here, and here are some examples. Actually, I'm going to keep it this way so you can see what this is. So when you have 0 star 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 4 0 and 4 stars, this means run once an hour at the beginning of an hour. So this is like at the beginning 0, but just run. This is just like everything else, so every hour. These ones are not really like considered. So let's take example 2. Run once a day at midnight. So you can see that the first one here is the beginning of the time, which is like 0 to 60 seconds, which is 59 actually, and it says run. So this is the beginning, and so it will be early. And then the second one is the hour, which is still 0 again, the beginning, which is midnight, and this doesn't really matter kind of in my view. And again, here is run once a week at midnight. So this is 0, which is the beginning, and then this is an hour, midnight again, and then to the end here is as you can see, here is a star, and then this is 0 to 6 here, which is Sunday to Saturday. So 0 here would represent the midnight of Sunday, as you can see. So here is Sunday is the first one, so this will run at Sunday. I mean, you can kind of go through all of this, but this is really what it is. The other thing I want to kind of want to talk about is I want to talk about like some of the utilities that you find on the internet, so you can find any of them. An example that I want to point out tonight is this website that is calling itself crontype.guru. So it's a really good website. You can put whatever it is you want here. So say for instance, if you say 0, provided they are in 5 stages here. So let's say 0 star, an example of those that we've found before. This will say at 0 minute, and this at midnight, obviously. So the next, and it would also, this one is really good because it would tell you the next time this will run again. So this will say the next time this will run will be 2024 12 26. Today's date is 26, but then it says it will just run at this time of the night. So if you copy this now and just put it in, it would give you. These are all the things that this website also use, like at yearly, at annually, at monthly, weekly, at daily, at hourly, and at reboot. These ones are not valid within GitLab, but anyway, that's enough examples. So come here if you're getting confused with like making up these ones. Just here are other examples as well. This one says run at 7 p.m. every single day. So this is beginning of the time, so always just come back to this. This is a formula. This is 0 minutes, so the beginning, and then this one is saying 19 here is corresponding to the hour of the day. So this is evening, is 7 p.m. and then this one's wouldn't really matter, so this will run at every single day. And again here like that, just, but if it is really difficult, please just use a util to make up your run time when you want to run. 9 out of 10 people just go like every midnight, something like this, so you can just copy that. But now let's go and see this in practical sense. So if we go to the pipeline itself, and then you're just going to go to build, and you see this is pipeline schedule. If you click on pipeline schedule, you would actually see this. It's really simple. And what we want to do, just make sure for you to actually see this, you just need to be an admin or the creator of this pipeline, because it's an admin that can actually administer on this. So just create a pipeline schedule, just give it any name. So this might be just run regression test. So this might be, let's say, run regression test, and then the time zone again. So for me, as I said, I'm in England here, so I'm going to select actually the time zone that I am on. So I am on, I can just select this Edinburgh, Lisbon, London, but I'll just go with London. And then again here, GitLab also have its own few ones as well. So this is like every day at this time. So you can see this is, but if you want, you can just like the one we talked about, 0. This is every time. So this one would, so you can kind of customize this. This now goes to custom. You can also like put yours again. So this is like at every midnight. Also, again, you can go to that Cron Syntax here as well. If it is confusing, the util is usually handy for you to like make sense of what this is. You can do every month at this time, but I'll just do this one. And again, the other thing you need to select is either the tag or like the branch you want to be running each time. So I'll just for now select the main branch. And if there are extra variables that you put before the job gets triggered, say for instance there is a variable called something like, let's say, password that is required, this is where you need to put it in. You just put password, whatever that is, and just do that and save. This will be used at that runtime, but in this job I haven't got anything. Now click this activated just to make sure that this is checked, and then create here. This will then tell you that this thing is created. It is waiting to run. Each time it will run, it will pick up the code from the main branch. It will just be triggered at this time, and it's telling you that the next time this job will run will be in 6 minutes time, and then it's just telling you that the last time it ran there was nothing, and then the owner of this job. As we said again, if you cannot wait, probably like there's something like a backup job that you want to manually trigger just to see if it worked or something like that, you can also like bypass this waiting for this and just click a play button here. Once you've done that, this job would automatically schedule and just begin to run. So let's go down to pipeline. You can see that this job is running, but this time around it did say that this is scheduled and it's running from the main branch, and then this is what is going to happen. And you can see the rest of the things were running when we checked in the code. This one isn't. This is just running this from this thing. If you click on it, it will take you to back into this created job, and you can also see the last time pipeline ran. You can see that this is now running. If you click on it again, it will just take you back to the actual thing, and you can see. So this is, in this case, it is that Cypress application that we wrote with TypeScript. So you're just running that, and this will just carry on and run. But we're not interested here to see if it will pass or fail. But this is what it is. We'll continue to journey on this series of this GitLab series, and a few things that we want to learn. But yeah, thank you, and please, if you're interested, please just hit the subscribe button to this channel. Thanks so much. Thank you.